Greetings, my curious friend with a beautiful mind. Have you ever wondered what goes behind a brain when we consider this picture as beautiful and this is not? And what is beauty really? And what makes someone so captivating that it quite literally takes a breath away? Is beauty something we see, or something we feel, or something far more profound? Today, we'll unravel the mysteries behind beauty, how our brain decides who or what is beautiful, and why do we find a family members attractive despite their flaws. Yet, we remain indifferent to strangers with similar features, and how the perception of beauty impacts our lives from the moment we are born through childhood and academics to our careers, long-term love, and even longevity. And we will explore what beauty reveals about the very essence of being a human. So let's get started. Let's start at the beginning, birth. From the moment we are born, beauty creates an invisible divide, a bias that shapes lives in profound ways. Studies have shown that babies with symmetrical faces or features considered attractive by societal standards receive more attention from adults. A baby with bright blue eyes may receive more attention than the one with birthmark, even though they are equally innocent and pure. This bias begins before we even develop distinct features, setting the stage for a lifelong inequality. This isn't just cultural, it's evolutionary. Let's go back to the beginning, symmetry. Evolution provides an answer. In the animal kingdom, attractiveness often signals health and vitality. Humans are naturally drawn to symmetrical faces. Why? Because symmetry is a marker of health. Studies have shown that during development, environmental stresses like illness or malnutrition can cause asymmetry. So, when we see a symmetrical face, it signals to our subconscious that this individual may have a stronger genes, making them a desirable partner from a reproductive standpoint. But there is another layer to it. Symmetry also makes processing visual information easier for our brains. Think of it as a cognitive shortcut. When a face is symmetrical, our brain doesn't have to work as hard to process the information, and this ease creates a sense of pleasure. For humans, these features trigger our caregiving and protective instincts, activating the brain's reward system. But what happens when a baby doesn't meet these standards of attractiveness? Research shows that even at a subconscious level, adults may respond less positively to babies who don't conform to the conventional ideas of attractiveness. It's a harsh truth, but it underscores how deeply ingrained beauty is in our biology. This preference for balance and harmony isn't limited to faces. It's a unifying principle that resonates throughout our perception of the world. We see it in the symmetry of nature, the balanced design of architecture, and the harmonious compositions of art. The golden ratio, often symbolized by the Greek letter phi, is a special number that appears in nature, art, architecture, and even in our bodies. It's approximately equal to 1.618. It has fascinated mathematicians, artists, and scientists for centuries. But what makes this ratio so special? The golden ratio occurs when the ratio of two numbers is the same as the ratio of their sum to the larger of the two numbers. In simple terms, if you have two parts of something, the ratio between them is same as the ratio between the larger part and the whole. This creates a sense of balance and harmony. You can find the golden ratio in nature. For example, the spiral shape of a sunflower seeds follows the golden ratio. The ratio is also seen in the branching of trees, the arrangement of leaves, and even in the proportions of human faces and bodies. In art and architecture, the golden ratio has been used for centuries to create visually pleasing composition. Famous artists like Leonardo da Vinci also incorporated the golden ratio into their works, believing it created the most aesthetically pleasing proportions. Even in modern design, the golden ratio is used to create visually balanced layouts. For example, the dimensions of a standard credit card are based on the golden ratio, and many websites and logos are designed with it in mind. The golden ratio is more than just a mathematical curiosity. It's a principle that seems to appear in many aspects of the world around us, from the natural patterns in the plants to the masterpieces of human creation. Beauty isn't just about perfect balance or measurements. If it were, everyone would agree on what's beautiful, but we don't. What one person sees as stunning, another might not notice at all. While balance and proportion matters, they don't fully explain why we see beauty so differently. Our culture also shapes what we find beautiful. Beauty standards have changed a lot over time. During Renaissance, curvier bodies were admired as signs of wealth and fertility. In the 1920s, the flapper style celebrated slim boyish figures. Today, social media, the fitness trends, and celebrities influence what we think is ideal. Sadly, this sometimes leads people to change their bodies in risky or harmful ways. But beauty isn't just about chemistry. This is where culture steps in. Beauty is as much as a product of society as it's of biology. It's also about how we present ourselves. Hair, clothing, and style play a big role in how we see and show beauty. The way we dress and groom ourselves tells others about our personality, mood, and even our social standing. In a way, style is like a frame around a picture. It can enhance and draw attention to the best parts of who we are. A well-chosen outfit can make certain features stand out, boost our confidence, and even change how people treat us. For example, some colors might complement our skin tone better, or certain cuts of clothing might suit our body shape more. This is why we often look better in one outfit than another. It's all about finding what works for us. Fashion and grooming are billion-dollar industries because they help us control how we are seen. Of course, beauty standards vary widely. In some places, lighter skin is admired. In others, darker skin is celebrated. Body shapes, hairstyles, and even smiles change with trends. Yet, there's a universal element to beauty. It often represents something we value, like health, youth, confidence, the instinct to attract a mate, or even power. These values are encoded in our DNA, but they are also reinforced by the world around us. Beauty is never fixed. It changes with time and culture. What's admired in one place or era might be completely different somewhere else. So why do we sometimes find ourselves more drawn to strangers or celebrities than to people in our own lives? It comes down to novelty and fantasy. Our brains are wired to seek out new and exciting stimuli. This is why the unfamiliar often feels more attractive than the familiar. Add to that the allure of unattainability. Celebrities, for instance, represent an ideal we can admire but never possess. This distance makes their beauty seem even more compelling. But there is more to beauty than what meets the eye. Researchers have found that our perception of beauty is also influenced by emotional and psychological factors. Kindness, confidence, and even a sense of humor can make someone appear more attractive. In fact, studies show that when we find someone likable, we are more likely to perceive them as beautiful. This phenomenon is known as halo effect, highlights how deeply interconnected our emotions and perceptions are. Beauty, it seems, it's not just something we see, it's something we feel. But it's not entirely about positive feelings, because beauty isn't just symmetry, it's also contrast. The curve of a smile against the sharpness of a jawline, the interplay of light and shadow on a face, the vibrant clash of colors in someone's style. When we see someone, our brain works in milliseconds. It calculates, compares, and decides. It pulls from a lifetime of memories, cultural influences, and personal experiences to label what we see as beautiful. But if beauty were just about symmetry and golden ratios, why do we find so many different people and things beautiful? The answer lies in contrast. Our brain are not just drawn to balance, they are drawn to uniqueness. Think about a striking feature, a gape-toothed smile, a freckled face, or a bold hairstyle. These distinctive traits stand out and capture our attention. Psychologists call this the contrast effect. This is why we are drawn to individuals who break the mold and who defy conventional standards of beauty. When we look at a loved one, a parent, sibling, or child, we often find them beautiful, even if they don't fit the societal standards. This is because beauty isn't just visual, it's emotional. Neuroscience shows that when we form strong emotional bonds, our perception of beauty changes. The oxytocin released during these connections rewires how we see someone, making the presence comforting and the features more appealing. Here's where it gets even more fascinating. When we see something or someone we find beautiful, specific areas of the brain light up. The orbitofrontal cortex, associated with pleasure and reward, becomes highly active. It is the same region that lights up when we eat delicious food or hear a favorite song. But beauty doesn't just trigger pleasure, it also sparks curiosity. The brain's visual cortex works harder when we encounter beauty, as if it's trying to understand and absorb every detail. Beauty, then, is not just something we observe. It's something we experience on a deeply emotional and intellectual level. Why do we sometimes go to the extreme lengths for someone we are really attracted to? It's not just about how they look, it's about how they make us feel. When we are attracted to someone, our brain releases chemicals like dopamine, serotonin, and oxytocin. Dopamine makes us feel excited and happy when we are around them, and serotonin can make us think about them constantly. Oxytocin, known as the bonding hormone, makes us feel more emotionally connected. These chemicals can be so strong that they cloud our judgment and make us act irrationally. Throughout history, people have done extreme things like fighting wars or even acting violently because of love or attraction. Yet, the most profound kind of beauty isn't physical, it's emotional. Kindness, empathy, and confidence can transform how we perceive someone. When we connect with someone on a deeper level, their physical appearance often becomes secondary. The idea is supported by neuroscience. When we form an emotional bond with someone, our brain's reward system associates their presence with positive feelings, making them appear more beautiful to us. But what about self-perception? In a world saturated with images of perfection, it's easy to feel like we don't measure up. Even me, look at how I dressed up for this video. On a typical day, I may not look like this, but today I wanted to be presentable, to connect with you, my friend, and to earn your acceptance. It's a human nature, isn't it? We all want to be liked, to be seen, to be valued. As we grow, the idea of beauty becomes more complex. Children are often told they are beautiful, praised for their appearances, and taught sometimes indirectly that the beauty equals worth. This sets the very foundation for how we view ourselves and others. The advantages of being beautiful compounds. In school, teachers are more likely to view attractive children as smarter and more capable. This perception boosts their confidence and opportunities, creating a self-reinforcing cycle. By adulthood, these individuals often carry an air of self-assuredness that opens doors others may struggle to even find. But the bias doesn't stop there. It infiltrates every aspect of life. In the workplace, equally skilled and experienced individuals often miss out to their more attractive counterparts. Promotions, leadership roles, and even starting salaries are frequently influenced by physical appearance. Research has consistently shown that attractive people earn more on average over their lifetimes than those deemed less attractive. The entertainment industry is perhaps the most glaring example. For some, beauty alone can pave the way to fame and fortune. In TV shows and movies, acting skills sometimes take a back seat to facial symmetry and charisma. Modeling, a multi-billion-dollar industry, thrives on this very principle, rewarding individuals for something they are born with rather than something they have achieved. Even in matters of justice, beauty wields power. Studies have shown that attractive defendants are more likely to be acquitted or receive lighter sentences compared to less attractive individuals. This phenomenon is well known that defense attorneys often recommend their clients wear glasses to appear more approachable and intelligent, a tactic that can sway a jury's perception. Relationships, too, are not immune. Attractive individuals tend to find partners more easily, and the relationships are more perceived as happier. Why? Because society praises these unions, reinforcing the idea that beauty equals worth. Compliments like, "You are such a beautiful couple," creates a positive feedback loop, fostering satisfaction and stability. Even longevity can be affected. Research suggests that attractive people report higher levels of happiness, partly because they are treated better by others throughout their lives. This treatment extends to their partners, who may be more willing to compromise or invest in the relationship because of the perceived value of being with someone beautiful. Yet, here is the irony. Beauty, for all its advantages, is not something we earn. It's a lottery of genetics, a chance combination of facial ratios, skin tone, and features that society happens to favor at a given time. Maintaining beauty may require efforts, but the initial advantage is something you're simply born with. This raises profound questions about fairness and worth. Why do we place so much value on something so arbitrary? Why do we let beauty dictate opportunities, relationships, and even justice? But here's the thing about beauty, it's not permanent. Like a flower in bloom, it fades with time. And when it does, it can be especially hard for those who have built their identity around it. The constant attention, the admiration, they are no longer there. For many, especially in industries like fashion or entertainment, where relevance is tied to appearance, this transition can be painful. Those who have basked in the glow of beauty often struggle to accept aging with grace. The world moves on, the spotlight dims, and what once seemed so important begins to fade. On the other hand, those who have lived life without privilege of constant attention often age more gracefully. They have built their lives on a deeper foundations, on things that endure beyond the fleeting charm of youth. But here is the truth, my friend. Beauty isn't everything. It's part of life, but not the whole story. In the end, we all find people who align with us. Those who see us for who we truly are and not just how we look. Life is about balance. Some things we get, some things we don't. But that's okay. The real beauty lies in the ride itself. It is in the memories we make, the people we love, and the connections we make. Some fall in love with appearances. Some are drawn to intellect, some to kindness, and some are for thoughtfulness. That's the beauty that transcends time. For me, yes, beauty is something I do value. However, the most beautiful thing in life isn't just a face or a smile. It's the bond we share with family and people whom we can call friends, whom we met as strangers. And those moments goes beyond the surface, and it's magical. And to you, my friend, I want you to believe this. You are beautifully unique. No matter what the world says, no matter how you see yourself, I want you to believe this. You're one of a kind masterpiece in this universe. So you don't believe me? Let me give you a math here. The human genome can generate 1,000,000 trillion variations of a human. So far, only 100 billion humans have ever been born. So the probability of you being you is mere 0.000000000000000 and 0.1%. Oh boy, you're so rare. So that is 16 zeros. So you're so incredibly rare, my friend, and so is your time. And remember, my friend, you're uniquely beautiful, made up of 37 trillion cells working in harmony. So go ahead, live your life, embrace the ride, and make it beautifully unique as you are. And I love you. Right, take care. A random shout out to our community members to show my appreciation for your support. Thank you. So, my friend, what is beauty really? Is it youth, fleeting, and fragile? Or is it the quiet strength, of a heart that endures. Perhaps beauty isn't something we find, but something we choose to see. We often search for beauty in the surface, in moments that pass, in faces that fade, but true beauty lingers deeper in the purpose we live by, in the love we give, in the quiet moments when we are simply present. It's not about what we look like, but how we see the world around us. Beauty is not fixed, my friend. It shifts with time, with understanding, and with choices we make. In the end, beauty isn't something to possess, but something to recognize in every step we take, in every person we meet, and in the life we choose to live. And I wish you live a beautiful life, my friend. I will always be in awe of the unique beauty you define. Your friend at MyLIfeTalks.